Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids.
Hospital Porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV and welcome to this, the 119th reply to comments video. Reply to comments 119 is the video in which I get to reply to your comments, as the title suggests. Now, what's this video all about, Ben? Well, basically, I get a lot of comments on my very popular channel, and I feel obliged to reply to them because a lot of these comments are very thought out. People take the time to watch and give me their feedback, and I appreciate that an awful lot. And I feel obliged to acknowledge that and reply in some way, especially because some of these comments are very long, thought out, often asking me specific questions or making specific criticisms or pieces of feedback. Now, I don't have time to reply by text to every comment I get, so I make these videos to do it. And you might think, that's no good, Ben. I only want to reply to one comment. I'm not going to watch a 9-hour video for that. Well, you don't have to, for two reasons. Firstly, I'll put a timestamp under the comment I'm replying to you, telling you when I'm going to reply to it. Under the comment I'm replying to you, telling you within the nearest hour when I'm going to be replying to it. Secondly, my reply to comments videos are not 9 hours anymore. They are much shorter. They used to be longer, but now they've become shorter because I do them more often. I also enjoy doing these videos, as I consider some of them really, really good, among the top videos that I do. And a lot of you watch them all. You enjoy watching them too. I know a lot of you watch them all the way through, even though you may not have a comment. And also, it preserves a precious philosophical dialogue in the form of the comments. Stefan Molyneux being banned from YouTube, although I believe he's just been reinstated, which is good. One of the things he lamented about it, which was now restored, is the comments that were lost. Comments under the videos. It's not the videos so much because he's on alt tech. As I explained to you in the video, which I'll be coming to, I've been following these guys on alt tech anyway, so it makes no difference to me. But the comments underneath the videos were a dialogue. People were talking to each other. And you guys talk to each other as well as to me. There's like whole threads of really, really good comments that people make to each other. And some of them are very amusing. That was all lost, or would have been lost, had he been banned permanently from YouTube. This video preserves that in case this happens to me, which, let's face it, in this world, it does. It's quite likely, isn't it? Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, and I know some of you won't be, but if you do watch it on YouTube, there is actually also a Control F. Press Control F, and you have like it shows the transcript as well, so you can like use the text to scroll to whatever comment you want. Just use search, and it'll find it as well. I should point out actually that if you're watching this on alt tech, also keep an eye out for the alt tech annex. Now, this is an exclusive part 2 to this particular series, which will not be on YouTube. If you're watching me on YouTube now, you'll only see the YouTube version. You need to go over to alt tech, sub to me there, and you'll be able to see the alt tech annex too. But that's to do with the alt tech videos. A lot of the comments on there get a little bit too spicy for YouTube. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, Elon Musk has not bought YouTube yet. Now, a bit of an update. You may notice very, very slight changes. You probably won't. I'll have to point them out to you. Very slight changes in my studio background, my studio area. So, for example, up there, there's what looks like a photograph. It's actually a birthday card that was given to me. It's got UFOs on it. I showed it you in my graffiti video. Also, you may have noticed the MAGA hat has gone. I finally decided, well, the mag's not gone. It's underneath the Make Britain Great Again hat. Because, just in case Trump pulls through and pulls a miracle, if he comes back to where he used to be. But if he doesn't, then I'm afraid that I'm not wearing or displaying a MAGA hat ever again. All right. You may notice also here there are a couple of stickers. There's Bottom, Rick Mail, Adrian Edmondson there. That's a present from my daughter because we're both fans of that series. And above it, there's The Cancel House by Rogue, the comic book. And I've showed you that on a previous video, one of my basis videos. Yeah, so do check that out. He's writing. It's a crowdfunding thing, but you can get a hold of all the latest copies. It's really, really cool. I do like that series actually. He puts in a word for hospital porters as well. So anyway, let us go to where we were when I ended the last video, the last reply to comments video, and it's reply to comments 118 YouTube, of course, yeah. And we have Red Ibex. Thanks a lot, Bud. He says 58, 50, 57, 59. Oh, I said timestamp. What's this about? Let's have a look. Honestly, Hugo, what's it now? Red, AIs and stuff like that. Hugo Rune, Red Ibex. What a strange cast of characters, occupy my life. He says, thanks a lot, bud. Unsubscribed. Just joking. Yes, bro, I am pretty strange. And runs one string puppets underneath, aren't we all? Goodness me, you wouldn't be anywhere near me if you weren't, would you? I mean, normal people don't appeal to me, and I don't appeal to them. Reply to comments 118. YouTube, Neil Peel Paranormal Peep Show says, first. Well done, Neil. And Red Ibex says, yes. Even Homer nods. Same video, the wow signal, 6EQUJ5 says, fourth. Oh, right. Oh, there's a timestamp here. Just a sec. Let's have a look. He's very sweet, but she's hard work. 3i Atlas Mars Day coming up. I think I'm nearly at the end of an hour, am I? Yeah, I think I am. Unfortunately, I have to break off. What's this? Oh, I don't know what that time stands for, but he or she says fourth. Mentioned in dispatches. And then we have here, Professor Unwin-Most. Oh, not Stanley Unwin. Oh, he's going to speak English now. He's going to speak English. And Ben, you expressed confusion at Erica Kirk for giving her husband's assassin. Maybe she needs to do it for herself, not the murderer. Just saying. Normal service will resume shortly. Deep joy. Yeah. I don't know what goes on inside her heads, Professor. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I know that some people find peace with that in themselves. I don't. I mean, all right. I can't put myself in her shoes. I don't know what she's doing. I mean, she has shown genuine grief, and I believe in some of her other appearances, she has shown genuine grief. I know that. I just I know that I can't. The people who've done me bad things, and like no one has killed my partner. I've only had like one long-term partner in my life, but obviously she didn't die. But for someone you love and to lose them, I mean, it's a very, very difficult thing for her to do it so quickly and in public like that. It doesn't quite ring true. And then again, like I said, maybe it's just her. I mean, other people's personalities are a source of enormous mystery to me. So it's anyway. It's I know you go back to speaking Unwinley soon. Right, Voices in the Wilderness Read Party introduction. Red Ibex says, have you ever had a non-crime hate incident reported against you? No, which is a bit of a surprise, considering that I must commit them all the time on this channel. But no, I don't. For a while, they went out of favour. I know that Suella Braverman, the previous Home Secretary, actually abolished them or instructed. Funnily enough, she instructed the police specifically not to record them anymore. And funnily enough, the police commissioners then disobeyed her and ordered their forces to continue collecting them, as if someone higher up had had a word in their ear and says, "Look, don't worry, ignore this bitch. No, we're gonna get back to normal service pretty soon." And indeed, one of the first things Starmer did when he got in, he got his Home Secretary, it was Diane Abbott at the time. Goodness me, who's now disgraced at last. At last, she's gone. But he got Diane Abbott to immediately. One of the first things she did was reverse that policy and bring back a non-crime hate incidents. So we live in. What I'll do is, as you know, I had a little liaison with Lily Law. Just a little while ago, as you know from the Oxford graffiti video. If I ever get one reported on me, I'll make sure I've got my camera running. All right, and that'll be an interesting video, won't it? Reply to comments 118. DJ B2. Oh dear, I've just found out that Avi Loeb is a WEF agenda contributor. This opens up a lot of questions. Backslapper alert. Backslapper alert. I mean, you're gonna have to. I've heard a lot of this, but I mean, the thing is, DJ. All right, I'm being unfair. You may, if you're onto something, please do give me the details. But to be honest, even if he has been to the WEF or something, and a man in his position is possible. This doesn't mean that he's like one of them. Do you know what I mean? Just because he's attended doesn't mean he's one of them. He may have just gone. He may have gone along as an observer or something about being a senior scientist in his position. But you must understand that hundreds of people are accusing him of that, and indeed they accuse almost anyone who's kind of like prominent and comes to the attention of the conspiracy will be accused of being a WEF agenda contributor. They'll be accused of that, even if they've been nowhere near Davos, they'll be accused of that. The fact that he's Israeli as well, some people are making hay over that, including that dickhead Professor Dave, as if I don't care if he's Israeli or not, quite frankly. And there's also what you'll realise. I'm not addressing you now. I'm addressing backslappers generally. A lot of backslappers really love the idea of being an iconoclast, which is why what you'll find with backslappers, they tend to target people who other people in the conspiracy sphere have a very high opinion of, who in a sense really look up to and really adore. Good example, of course, being Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, etc. These people, of course, are very, very popular in much of the conspiracy sphere, even outside it in the sort of mainstream world, and so they tend to get targeted a lot by the backslappers because it's part of the to be an iconoclast is part of the backslapper mystique. You know, it's even that great king of backslappers himself, Richard D. Hall. You know, he did an entire program where he was talking about letting your dog wee on the statues of Julian Assange and stuff like this. And of course, it's all part of backslapperdom. And I don't take it seriously, unfortunately. I don't take it seriously because, for various reasons, not least because you're probably the 100th person who's accused Avi Loeb of various things. And I don't know where you got your information from, but it won't open up any questions unless there's some reason for it, I think. Red Ibex says here on reply to comments 118. Oh, we got a timestamp here. Tony Blair to me, but there you go. I'll find these. Oh, it's an old one. Oh, these are all on old. Oh, sorry, my friend. I didn't say these are reply to comments. I said 117. I didn't notice. Reply to comments 25. These are really old one, man. Oh, and here we go. This is going to be. Oh, hang on. I don't know what the timestamps for a Red Ivy. He says here, David Cameron's 2010 election campaign. I meant the big society. My mum brought me a satirical T-shirt that says, "Does my society look big in this?" Oh, right. That's a good one. I didn't realise. I thought it was Blair, but it's was it David Cameron? All right, but so maybe I should watch. I'll watch that timestamp for a bit longer. Hang on, I'll just play it again. Tony Blair to me, but there you go. Old vintage piece of Steve mumbling, shall we? Let's have a if whatsoever without it. Well, you know, Steve. Oh, sorry, I don't get the timestamp read, but I like that. It's a good idea for a T-shirt. Right, here we go, and it's now same video and Red Ibex again with another timestamp. Let's have a look at this. It's for what the hell is he talking about? Why is he acting like this? Red Ibex. All right. I'm sorry. You were just about to say something, Red. Oh, it's for what the hell is he talking about? Why is he acting like this? Red Ibex again on 117. This is like a timestamp here. Race invented in the 1500s. These wokies crack me up sometime.
Well, really, so it's like from
I think we've moved on.
16, 1700s on.
Okay. This person thinks that race was invented in the 50s. Okay, I mean, you're talking about Hugo Rune here. Okay, I've been good. He says, Red says here, I've been going through your reply to comments, as you know. Yeah, I appreciate that, mate. I hope you enjoy them. And so I'm just filling up my dragon juice again. As you know, Hugo has fallen out with you before. Perhaps he will be back. Oh, thank you very much. Well, you know, I hope so too. I mean, I am in touch with Hugo. We are kind of like conversing, and I'm trying to be patient with him. And obviously, I won't go through private conversations with you, but he does seem to be going through what you might call a bad patch right now. And I do wish him all the best. He's been quite difficult to deal with at the moment, and I do wish him all the best. I know he himself has talked about his kind of like his various mental problems that he's got, and he's spoken quite openly about that. One String Puppet says on 118, Casper site Ben. Yeah, his name's Ben. isn't too dramatic, in my opinion. He's more enthusiastic and excitable on the topic, which makes for a good watch, to be fair. That's true, One String Puppet. Yeah, I mean, I think he is I think he is rather dramatic, personally. But enthusiastic and excitable, he certainly is as well. And I do like to watch him. He's kind of the West Country equivalent of me in a way. And he's got the same name, which says an awful lot, doesn't it? Yes. 118 seconds, says Red Ibex. Oh my god, Red Ibex is second. My goodness me. Red, you're slacking. And we have here Professor Emlyn-Jones, who's back to his usual self. Oh, Follock, next spacey tie load. Third, oh, Follock, best next spacey tie load. Well, you get the bronzy med load, Professor. That looked good, won't it, on your shelf, along with all your Oscars and BAFTAs and things. Right, 118, yeah. Oh, all right, this is Over the Moon, who says here, the Frying Squad was indeed 23 years ago. Check the newspapers rather than the date you made a video about it. I believe you, OTM, I believe you, but it doesn't change the validity of the information in the videos, as we've been describing. I think the fact there was this fuss made about it is worrying when you consider the same time they were like suppressing cold fusion and things like that. Red Ibex says on 118. Is that a customer's dog? Probably. I might have had a dog with me. Yeah, I might have done, but I don't. There's no timestamp here. But sometimes when I'm out with a doggy, walking in one of the doggies, I'll make it like a video. I try not to get. I don't like to mix work and this sort of thing, so I will not like put the dog in the frame. But you know, it's what I do most of the day. I do walk a lot of doggies. And now we have Red Ibex talking about Hugo Rune on 118. Yeah. Thing. By the way, Hugo Rune has gone a bit quiet. I don't want to go into details, but I had a rather strange email from him. Yeah, it was a bit it was a bit difficult, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, 118, and we have Red Ibex. Arrest him, and they will carry out extrajudicial questioning and things like that on him. You know, you don't have like your Miranda rights when these people get hold of you. And by people, I mean the CIA and yeah. Red Ibex says, "Do you get Miranda rights from the Men in Black?" No, and from what I gather from people who've experienced these things, for people who've experienced these encounters with Men in Black, you don't get anything like that. In fact, they don't offer you any way out at all. They seem to be completely unlike when you're getting arrested by the police or another government agency. They do, at least they have a duty of care for you, which means if you're being arrested, they'll usually, regardless of what offense you've been accused of, and I know this from having been arrested, because I was accused of committing violent disorder, or was arrested on suspicion of it. I'm never charged. I was NFA'd, as you know, but they will, if you are calm and you're polite, and they'll be polite and calm back to you, and they'll show you a lot of concern, especially if it's something you're not used to. In this case, it was the first time I was arrested. So the officer, he was very nice about it, actually. Simon, he says, "My name's Simon," he says. So, yeah, you'll be okay if you're cooperative and you're calm, you'll be okay. But Men in Black, you get nothing. I mean, they literally will threaten you. They'll be aggressive. They sort of project a lot of fear. That's what people describe. They never identify themselves or who they work for. Or occasionally they will lie. They'll say there was social services or something, but usually they just don't identify themselves at all. Over the Moon says, "Hi, sorry, Ben, I made a mistake. Happens to us all, Over the Moon. Most people do not have to inform HMRC that they're using cooking oil as fuel. This is only necessary if you exceed your personal allowance, which is very unlikely for the average motorist. It depends how much driving you do, OTM. If you do exceed your personal allowance, you have to inform them so you can pay tax on the excess amount. I very much doubt anyone exceeds their personal allowance, and if they do, I'm sure they don't declare it. Interestingly, it's actually cheaper to run a car on electricity than on cooking oil. And you don't smell like a mobile chip van. Oh, well, that's an attraction there, Over the Moon, because those things smell awful, you know, especially those Turkish ones. Sorry for anyone from Turkey, but, you know, I don't like your chips. I really don't. Never been there. You may be a wonderful country, you know. I've got Turkish friends, as they say, but No, it stinks. They really do. I don't want this sort of oil they use, but it's really smelly. Anyway, it's I mean, right, okay. Well, that's interesting. A bit of update there, OTM. It's strange though. I mean, for example, how do they know what you see? If you don't declare it, how do they know? Can they prove you've used so much? I mean, I'm sure they're going to fit cars with like smart mileometers that which at some point actually log your fuel use and your refueling stops and things like that. But it seems strange. Firstly, you buy a product which is not vatable. You use it in a car, and that should be the end of it. I mean, if you use it in a car, you bought something that's not normally subject to VAT. I think we may have discussed this. We'd have debated this before. I didn't know if we get to this point. But and if you use it as fuel, I mean, obviously it's then not for human consumption. You're not using it for human consumption. But I mean, you could use the same product for example, you could fry it, strain all the bits out, and then use it in your engine. As long as you don't like clog it up with like little bits of batter and potato, you should be all right. I know people who were using throwaway oil in their engines, and there was no problem. So you are using oil that was originally for human consumption, and it seems an odd rule, a very odd rule indeed. Why you have a product which is taxable if you can use it for one thing and not for another. It's almost like it was invented for this very purpose. 118 Red Ibex said here, Theodore Kaczynski, Industrial Society and Its Future, was published in 1995. I'm sure you disagree with his methods, Ben, but his writings resonate so much today. Have you read it? No, I've not. I've not heard of this person. Read or their book, Industrial Society and Its Future. It's an interesting title, I must say. So, but thanks for making me aware of that. Gary Robinson, we're getting through these rather quickly. How long have I been doing this for? 22 minutes. We're getting through them very quickly. Is there maybe it's not long since I did the last one. I can't remember. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something. Gary Robinson says on 118. In regards to comments being removed by YouTube, I found a nice little trick that lets you know if the comment is likely to be deleted. Firstly, go ahead and post it. Once it's live, highlight the text, copy it, and paste it into Notepad. Yeah, I mean, Gary, I actually suggested that myself. So it's something. If ever I'm doing a long comment, I'll always do that. Gary carries on. If YouTube is not happy with your comment, there will be a line of text at the top of the Notepad file, something along the lines of suspicious content. Oh, right, I didn't know that. If it happens, you'll need to edit the comment and keep trying this until the line no longer appears. Right. I didn't know that. That's amazing. I've had a comment. I put a comment on Simon Holland, and it's I can see it when I'm logged in. Let me just go and have a look. Let me just show you. I can see it when I'm logged in, but then where is it? I can see it when I'm logged in, but then I can't see it when.
In the UK, there are more than 3 million.
Don't need that. Oh, this advert's annoying, isn't it? The bells.
Open an account today and let us help find.
Hey everybody.
Here we go. This is the comment here, right? It's just the Simon makes a point here. I won't go into details here because you'd have to watch the video. But he talks about he has a video which involves. He says there's a method which involves always try your best to prove yourself wrong, using a rather nasty title to this. There's a very nasty and unpleasant term they used for that, which I won't repeat. But he says there's a problem. I said there's a problem with this method, which I agree is a very bad name for it. There we go. Right, let's have a look. Let's try this. See what happens. What's happening? Okay. Right, there's no text on this. Can you all see that? You should be able to see that. Yeah. I just say it can easily lead to a collapse into what I call the clown's day off fallacy. If you work too hard to exclude all other known possibilities, with what? Oh, it goes on. Oh, it goes all the way over here. All right. I'm basically just outlining the clown's day off fallacy. I don't know. I'll just try. What I'll do is I'll just try posting it again, see what happens. Maybe it'll work if I do it again. Let's try it again. But it's always a good idea, I think, to... There we are. Maybe it'll work this time. I'll let you know anyway. I'll let you know. It's always a good idea if it's a long comment. And I said this happened with One String Puppet. Preserve it. Make a record of it. And I mean, One String Puppet was very frustrated because the same thing happened to him. And I was like, I saw the comment in the end, and I replied to it, and only then could he see it. And this makes me believe, because One String Puppet obviously uses other channels, and indeed we met on someone else's channel. He found me through this other person's channel, but it appears to be particularly bad with my channel. It's like YouTube are treating me worse than most. But anyway, thanks for that, Gary. I didn't notice it myself, but for some reason when I log out, I couldn't see that comment. I'll just try. Let's just see if I can see it now. Let me just go. I'll just check it out and see if I can see it now. I'll just use my phone. Here we go. Professor Simon Holland. Here we go. Videos. 3i Atlas. Comments. 640. Newest comment. You see, it's not there. I don't know how much you can see of this. Hang on. You see, it's not there. It may show up, but here we are. Newest comment first. It's not there yet. I mean, I've only just posted it. It might show up. It might show up soon. But anyway, that's a bit strange. That's a bit strange. But thanks, Gary. Thanks for the information. Over the Moon says here on 118, when I quizzed Grok Unhinged about you. Oops. So, I've got that comment in my clipboard. I've got to change it. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, and cancel and just start again. When I click Grok Unhinged about you, it didn't bring up any of the things you mentioned. Oh, right. What did it bring up, Over the Moon? I mean, I'm just curious. I don't care. I mean, the kind of things people say about me is unbelievable. And I mean, whatever they say, I'm sure I've heard worse. But, right. But, yeah, so I don't know what it said about me. It probably records all the stuff, all the lies the trolls have said. Oh, the Moon says here, have you read If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies? Why Superhuman AI Would Kill Us All? Published with the alternative subtitle, The Case Against Superintelligent AI in the UK by Eliza Yudovsky and Nate Soers. I haven't read that, Over the Moon, but I've heard of Eliza Yudovsky because he was actually mentioned in 14 Times. I was reading an article. It's actually in number 447. I remember because I told a friend about it. It's all about Moloch and AI, and it's really, really cool. But Eliza Yudovsky actually went to this AI safety summit in Korea. It was in Seoul, South Korea, a little while ago. And right, but that's a very sinister title, isn't it? If anyone builds it, everyone dies. Oh dear, that's saying a lot, isn't it? Oh yeah, 118 One String Puppet says here. Thanks for the video, Ben. Okay. The format of replying to your community is unique and really a really good way of managing your own personal time. Appreciate your effort to stay in touch with your community. Oh, you're welcome, One String Puppet. Thanks very much. I'm glad you enjoy that. Also, I respect your opinions and replies to my comments on James's channel. You raised some good points. Yeah, James did his first live stream the other day, and I watched some of it. I actually was in the live chat. Also, I've got screenshots of the radiation testing video he uploaded, which was removed. In case you or anyone else are interested, I captured most of the important details from his videos in the assumption that if real, it would disappear from the internet. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'll send them to me. I mean, I'll be interested to see them. Also, I also took the time to translate the markings on the two ends of the pipe using AI and other sources. I left the information on his video where he had written down the thing in full on a piece of paper. Did you? Did you really? Right. Let me just see if I can just have a look at it. Hang on. He uploaded something the other day. Where is it? Because I just want viewers to see that. But But oh, sorry, you're going to say anyway in a minute, but
Support your pets.
I'll just look for your. If I can find, I won't search too hard for this, but he did write it down on a piece of paper. Yeah, he did write these things down on paper. He scrolled them down. In fact, I covered that, didn't I, in the video? Do you remember the video I did about him? He's made an entire transcript. Oh, I can't find it. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. But you record them here anyway. You record them here anyway. The glyph on the end reads the glyph. On the ends, the glyphs on the ends are occult symbology, and I've simplified here. As above, so below, body, mind, spirit, union of body, mind, spirit, creation, emotion, spirit, light, balance, matter, the four elements, as above, so below. This again points to a terrestrial human artifact, almost like he's leaving subtle clues for those who dig deeper. Oh, really? Right. You know, and that's pretty interesting. That's pretty good work. I mean, I'm sure other people have actually done this as well. I'm sure you're not the only one, but I mean, that's very strange. I mean, why that wouldn't be on something extraterrestrial? I'd have thought. Yes, that probably wouldn't be on something extraterrestrial, I imagine. Still, you know, how did you do it, by the way? I mean, what language is it? I mean, is it in a human language? It just because I didn't recognize the script. I mean, there's a couple of symbols that look like they might be Hebrew, but I didn't recognize the script. So let me know what did when you had it translated, right? Presumably used you say you used AI and other sources. Did the AI explain exactly what it was looking at and where it comes from? Because you could do that to the Boogosphere as well. But thanks very much, One String Puppet. All right, now I've this is a community notice, which is the one about Hugo Roon's TV spot, and Red Ibex says, I've just seen it, really interesting. Didn't Hugo come across well? He did. I mean, I think he put his case across very well when he was on this news channel. Yeah. Reply to comments 118 YouTube, and we have what the wow signal says. From the people who bought you Oumuamua, a new horror. Oumuamua, spelt like spelt phonetically. A new horror. Revel in the forecasting as Three-Eyed Alan hits Mind cinemas this season. That's funny. Oh man, I mean, I'm sure that Three-Eye Atlas is really going to influence culture. In fact, Avi has just written an article about this, explaining. It says people who've been writing poems about it and things like that. He's had several letters from people saying, you know, my son comes home from school every day and he wants to know the latest on Three-Eye Atlas. Yeah. And right, Red Ibex also says on 118, brilliant, short one this time. Yeah, it is rather. It's strange, but you know, I'm almost halfway through now, and I've only been recording for, what was it, 33 minutes? Strange. I wonder why. Maybe just anyway. One String Puppet says here on 118. Also, yes, no worries, Ben, with regards to my suspicion on you deleting the comment I made. It must have been my own lack of refreshing or a random glitch. Thanks for the confirmation. No problem, mate. No problem. And you know what? If you were more familiar with my channel, as I've just been explaining when I was talking with Gary about disappearing comments, it's something that seems to be a bit of a bane of my channel. Actually, it seems, and it appears to be my channel more than others, and for whatever reason. If it seems to be if it's a technical problem, then it never seems to be fixed. As I have reported it to technical support, but nothing ever seems to happen. It's as if YouTube don't like my channel very much for some reason. I think this is why I seem to get videos with there's more people commenting than are viewing, which seems to be impossible. Things like that, you know. I've noticed it with my blog articles too. It must be a Google thing. Red Ibex says on Voices in the Wilderness, Read Party Introduction. Is the 14 Times the best magazine out there? It's the second best, Red. The second best. The best is Nexus. Those two is all you need, I think. I think definitely. David Splendid Isolation 118. We've got a timestamp here. Let's hope the ladybird is okay. Does radiation affect insects? Yes, it does. Radiation affects all living things. And I'm curious to see what happened to the plant. I mean, he hasn't, we don't know what happened to that plant, do we? And David says, except cockroaches, impervious. And Professor Unwin-Mo says, roachly cockloaders, gridly offlings in their shelty most bunklows and rancid Esther all survive it. Right, I think that's Esther Ranson. That's right. So off-grid in their shelters and bunkers with Esther Ranson. Oh God, just what a nightmare that would be. Oh, being stuck in a bunker with Esther Ranson, going on about, oh, well, I didn't know about Jimmy Savile. Well, I'd heard rumors and I couldn't say anything. And I thought, this is the founder of Childline. Dear. Yeah, cockroaches apparently are very, very robust. And I remember because I remember something my science teacher said at school. You may think cockroaches are horrible and disgusting, but I'll tell you what, they'll be around long after we're gone. Meaning that, humans will inevitably become extinct one day. Hopefully not for a long time, but whenever that happens, whatever the cause is, see, every single cause of our extinction possible that you can imagine, will affect cockroaches far less. So they'll probably survive through many that we wouldn't. Over the moon says here. Oh, right, yeah. I actually put a text comment because I forgot to show you something. But anyway, we're going to go on here. The booger video. Okay. 1. The bird insect is visible only in one frame. Let me just have a look here. Okay, hang on. Booger sphere drone. Here we go. Right, I've actually got into this guy's channel. Actually, I'll use this particular panel here. Here we go. This is the short I'm talking about here.
I just found something. I've been working on the Mostly True Alien Story.
Mostly True Alien Stories.
Booga Sphere special, which is going to come out soon. I've been scrubbing every frame of video they released before the big press conference. Then I compared that to the footage they showcased during the event. In the main flying video, the one they say shows a levitating sphere, I went frame by frame. And then boom, right there in a single frame, a drone directly above.
Well, it's something. It looks very blurred, but it could be a drone, yeah.
The sphere. I thought, okay, this is a glitch, it's an artifact or whatever. But then I pulled up the original version of that same video, the one that was posted prior to the big press conferences and everything else. And this is what I found. Yeah. The same exact thing. So here's the thing. We've all been analyzing the footage to see what AI created. But what if AI was used to remove something and it missed a frame? This video might be real, but the levitating might be one big edit job that slipped up in one frame. Is this a Mostly True Alien story or not? Okay,
yeah, I mean that is obviously very suspicious. And I mean, I don't know if it's a drone. I mean, it's too blurred to see, but it would fit, wouldn't it? I mean, if this was fake, that's probably how you would do it. But anyway, he says the bird insect is visible in only one frame. This is over the moon. At 30 frames per second, that's just 33 milliseconds of visibility. A natural object, a bird, insect, etc., or drone, would appear across multiple consecutive frames due to momentum. This single frame appearance strongly suggests that it was an unwanted element that a heavy post-production process, like an AI filter or automated object removal tool, either missed or failed to completely paint out at that specific 33 millisecond window. It's an error in hiding the object. Yeah, that's what Mostly Alien True Stories said, and I think he may be right, and you might be right too. I think the important thing is, like, really, where's the original video? We need to see the original video. That is the original file that was in whatever device the photographer used. You must never delete those. Never delete them. Always keep them. If you see something strange, you film it. Don't just think, well, I've copied it to my computer, I can just delete it now and paint and like overwrite it with some other thing I want to film. No, keep the original, for goodness sake. Do you remember when I went off to that that couple who lived up near Chester, and because they saw these things in their garden? Do you remember that? I braved Storm Dillon. Do you remember? I told them, whatever you do, not delete the original file on your phone. Yeah. 2, the suspicious 360p resolution. Who shoots video at 360p in 2025? The low resolution is a crucial component of the manipulation. It obfuscates the detail, like pixel edges, lighting mismatches, or the failed removal artifact itself. That would instantly debunk the footage. If it were in HD, low quality, high. If it were in HD, it would debunk the footage if it were in HD, full stop. Low quality equals high skepticism. Yeah, I mean, it's possible they were using some very old device. Not really. I mean, it's you know, it's they don't live in the middle of the jungle. They live. Booga's quite a large place. It probably has access to modern technology. You'd think they'd have something a bit more better. It could have been converted. You see, it could have been converted to 360. They shot it in HD and converted it to 360. As I say, in post-production. Again, that's another reason to see the original file. Every researcher should be tracking down the witnesses, seeing the file. I would do that. I'd say, look, you don't need to tell me who you are, but please do just let me see let me see the original file. 3, unnatural movement. If you watch the motion, it suggests it's not an autonomous craft, but a physical prop suspended from above. And the combination of the single frame glitch, intentionally poor quality, and unnatural motion make this a classic case of intentional manipulated footage. I actually said here, I forgot to mention there's a previous study that found what looks like a wire above the sphere if suspended. I mean, where's the original video? Let's just have a look. Here we go. Here we are, the Booga sphere. Oh, this is the one with the wire. Let's have a look at this one first. What's the music for? It's hard to say, actually. You know, when you say the unnatural motion, I think it's actually quite hard to say. But there is something a little bit more to let's just see if I can find. I'll use search to find the best version. Wire, Booga's field wire. Here we go. Wire appears now. Look, this is something similar to what we said. One string puppet. This is similar to what the mostly true alien stories said here. Oh, that UFO podcast. Wire appears above Nick. Look, finally confirmed the hoax? Question mark. Can you see the wire? Oh, there's like a glint. You see, there's like a ping. This is going back to the Apollo detectives. There we are. See? Do you see it there? I'll put this on bigger screen so you can see it better. Again, this is something that see if I can pause it at the exact moment. They should have paused it. There, see? Do you see it there? That could be lens flare of some kind, but it's more likely, unfortunately, to be a hoax. It's more likely to be a hoax. So yeah, I mean, this is suspicious in my view. It is suspicious, unfortunately. So yeah, well, how am I doing for time? 43 minutes. Right. So I mean, I have to agree with you. I mean, this is suspicious, OTM. It is. If this needs, again, this could be cleared up if they just found the original file. If they find the original file and it is just like a brief, like it is. I mean, again, in 33 milliseconds, something wouldn't just appear and disappear. It could be some kind of like artifact in the processing or in like the production, like the production, but it's dubious, isn't it? It's very, very dubious. And we have a digital ID live stream. Rhiannon Raven says, thanks for playing my tracks, Ben. The hoodie looks good on you. Blue is definitely your color. Thanks, especially the light blue, which is the color of hospital portering. But you're welcome, Rhiannon. Right, and all right, here we go. And this is the great unbanning. This is a new video. Excuse me. Red Ibex says, Grok, does YouTube's second chance program mean hate speech is now allowed? No, says Red. This is quoting Grok, I suppose. Hate speech remains strictly prohibited under YouTube's community guidelines, and the second chance program does not change that. Hate speech policies unchanged. YouTube's rules against hate speech, targeting protected groups based on race, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation, disability, etc., are permanent, not temporary, like the C word or election misinformation policies. Right? Yeah, I can say it now. COVID. Right there. Well, that's no surprise there, Red Ibex. No surprise at all that they would do that, because it's a different issue, isn't it? It's a different issue. The great unbanning, lab-based, says here. And now they do the same during the Trump administration. What goes around comes around, and lab-based carries on us underneath in a reply. A recent example being Jonathan Howard, a neurologist and psychiatrist in New York City, received an email from YouTube on Friday night which stated that Vinay Prasad, who is the FDA's top vaccine regulator, had demanded the removal of 6 videos of himself from Howard's YouTube channel. The current administration dislikes saying one thing publicly currently while having evidence to the contrary on YouTube. All right, so this is still going on, you're saying, lab-based. Right, I see. Right, okay, so it's still going on now that the head of the Federal Drug Administration, the Food and Drug Administration, is demanding removals, and YouTube is still removing them completely outside the normal chain of procedure. Well, that's that. You know, with new Trump, it doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. The great unbanning, Professor Emlyn-Jones says here, if it's in these spacey tie loads to have the eardroves of a suply soldier, all trousery leg load, roly on the knee clappers, and zippity fizzgog handshake it there if you get the meal of my wordings. It's these spacey tie loads. What's spacey tie load? To have eardroves of the super soldiers, the eardroves of a super soldier, all trouser legs rolled up to the kneecaps, to the knees, and zippity fizzgog handshake it there. Zippity fizzgog. Oh, I don't know what that means. I don't quite get the meal of your wordings there, Professor. And UAPS says underneath, WTF, are you talking about lols? Professor Emlyn-Jones says, deep folly. You think I'm speaking the Duplo dotchery? There's no chuckload in the Throkus be having with it. Oh no, it's the high brainbocker and bookie learnage of the Basie Engly 20 Fido. Basie Engly 20 Fido, all right. All right, you think I'm speaking something. There's no chuckload in the Thorcus. That means having a laugh, I think. It's the high brainbocker, high brain and book learning of the Basie Engly 20 Fido. It has to do with Bayesian analysis or something like that. Because, Angry Astronaut was talking about Bayesian inference and things like that. Right. Oh, Oxford May Morning 3. Oh, God, this is an old one. Red Ibex says, do you wish Star Trek Phase 2 was not cancelled after the pilot? Would you support a reboot? Would you support a restart with the same cast but CGI? I've never seen anything after. I haven't watched any Star Trek at all after TNG. I mean, there's no. Or I watched a bit of it. I watched a bit of the new Star Treks post the Next Generation, but it was awful. It was bloody crap, and I just stopped. So I'm not familiar. Anything after, Jean-Luc Picard and Data and that, I know nothing about. If it's as bad, if Star Trek Phase 2 is as bad as all the other new Star Trek parts of the franchise, no, I wouldn't support any reboot at all. Same goes for other Doctor Who and things like that. The Great Unbanning, Red Ibex says, first. Oh, I haven't published these in order. Hang on, I should publish the newest first, shouldn't I? It's too late now. It's too late now. Because you see, I'm sorting them by relevance, but I should sort them by newest, shouldn't I? It's too late. If I redo it now, I'll miss loads of them. So I'm not gonna like resort them now. But I mean, I preferred starting with the oldest and going to the newest. But anyway, Red Ibex says first. UAPS says second. And Professor Emlyn-Jones through. Oh my God, we got gold, silver, and bronze all in the same thread. And then Wow Signal says sixth. Oh, everyone's a special snowflake and everybody wins. Right, 118 and Professor Unwin-most. How am I doing for time? All right. Coming to the end of the first hour. What in the heavenly abode is quantual therapage? Mesmerly Franzi loader. All philolopped and daisy push it over 3 centiles ago. Deep folly. All right. Right. This is what is quantum therapy? It's, I don't know, mate, but if you put just the skeptics are always having a go at this for this, which is why there could be a problem with the Voices in the Wilderness, because he talks about quantum Bigfoot, the author of that. The skeptics say they just take anything and they put the word quantum in front of it, and it just sounds really cool. You know, Sabine Hoseville, she said this at QED. They used to put X-ray, and now they put quantum. Franz Mesmer, yeah, Franz Mesmer is the hypnotist, hence mesmerized. He all fell over and Daisy push it, pushing up the daisies over 3 centuries ago. Deep folly, that's right, Franz Mesmer. It was like the guy who started it all. Yeah, this guy here. Let's get a picture of him. Franz Mesmer, German physician. He's kind of like ancient. He's a Franz Mesmer. Here he is. This guy here was a German physician with an interest in astronomy. He theorized the. Oh, right. He calls animal magnetism. He first was mesmerism. He proposed the term hypnotism, a synonym for hypnosis. Yeah. All right. You seem to be into a lot of things: astronomy, natural energy, animal magnetism, hypnotism, music as well. He was on friendly terms with Haydn and Mozart, and there we are. He talks about his background. There we are. Born 1734 in Insang, in the shores of Lake Constance in Swabia. Yeah, there we are. So that's who we're talking about here. But yes, he did die a long time ago. But I mean, did he like popularize this idea of putting scientific terms in front of things to make them sound cooler than they are? Red Ibex says this happened to Brian Rouge channel. This is on the Great Unbanning. Brian Rouge channel came back. Oh, did he? Oh, Brian's back, is he? Let's have a look. I know I've been following him anyway on. He is. There he is. Yes. Here he is. Yes, he's back. I've been following him on BitChute, but yeah, I don't watch all his stuff because he sometimes rambles. He's actually, some of his videos are a bit boring, quite frankly. He goes on all kinds of weird stuff. But he interviews Grant. He's interviewed Grant Cameron. He interviews Richard Dolan. He's got interviews with Stanton Friedman. Loads with Steve Bassett. This upgrading humanity stuff I don't go along with. I think he's a bit kind of put quantum in front of it kind of guy. Although you did say you'd like me to interview him and do a joint show with him. I'd be happy to do that. Was it you said that, Red Ibex? You'd like me to do a joint show with Brian? Yeah. Red Ibex says on the Great Unbanning. Max Egan is back. I never thought I would see it. Yeah. I mean, that was quite something, wasn't it? Because he was literally a fugitive from Australia. He was like hiding out in Mexico because they were going to frame him. If you remember, I mean, he was very concerned when he got his gun license approved after like 25 years. He thought, what's going on here? Why did they suddenly approve my gun license? And he probably correctly thought, they're going to set me up. They're going to make me into the next, what's his name? Bryant, the guy. Do you remember the Port Arthur massacre? Martin Bryant. They're going to make me the next Martin Bryant. Right, May morning 3. And we have here... Was that Barry who passed away? Let's just have a look. Let's have a look at this as a timestamp. It'd be good to visit an old video. Let's have a look.
Hey, Barry.
What's that?
You see it for yourself.
What's this?
They're coming in, the police are coming in, taking over the street. There's no freedom anymore.
I filmed this on my old mobile phone, yeah.
It's a public street, they're taking it over. Hey, Barry.
Oh no, that's not the Barry who passed away. That is this twat. He was a bit of a he was a bit obnoxious. I remember he was this guy from Unison. I don't know what he was, but he was just quite an old guy. I don't know if he's still alive. It's 16 years ago, but he was like really stuck up, and he would say, "Oh, don't film me. I'm a member of Equity." I remember he said that. I didn't actually capture it. I remember, "You can pay me my dues, thank you." And I mean, if I'd have said, "Well, hang on, you're on a public place, mate. I'll film anything I like." Anyway, Red Ibex says, "Do you use Filmot?" What's Filmot? I don't know what Filmot is. Let's see. Search in YouTube captions and subtitles. I do sometimes. I didn't know it was called that, but it is. I do sometimes. Yep. Only very, very rarely. If it's a long video and it's a specific thing I'm looking for, I'll sometimes use that. And indeed, I suggested that people do that here. Search in YouTube captions and subtitles. All right. Yeah, and this is it. I can just show it to you here. This is the app here. You just put in the text, then you put in the channel. It's quite a useful thing to have. But I mean, YouTube has. I wasn't actually suggesting literally that app. I was just YouTube has its own house app for that. And we're doing for time now. Nearly through in an hour, but we're well over halfway through. 3 Atlas perihelion live stream. Sorenville just puts a heart there, so I don't know if it's worth putting a timestamp reply to that, but I did put a heart in reply to him. To 3 Atlas perihelion live stream. The Great Unbanning, Red Ibex. Do you speak Esperanto, Ben? Would you ever advocate for it to be taught globally? I don't speak it, no. I know about it from Red Dwarf because it was actually a feature of the comedy series Red Dwarf. Would I advocate for it to be taught locally? Yeah, I think the idea of having a non-partisan language as a global lingua franca is a good idea. At the moment, we have mostly English. English is it's like the global lingua franca. There are regional lingua francas as well, such as in Africa. In some parts of Africa, it's like in Northern Africa, it tends to be French. In South America, it tends to be Spanish. But the idea of a non-partisan lingua, unfortunately, see, when you make an extant natural language, a lingua franca, it kind of politically it makes the language or the native speakers of the language more important. So in a sense, this is why the conquistadors of the American conquistadors actually did that deliberately in the Americas. They made by making Spanish the lingua franca of all the different tribes of the Indians across the continents. They kind of made themselves more important. The British Empire did the same thing in India, essentially. Now, since then, really, nothing much has changed. For example, in India, English is still a lingua franca. In the Americas, even though the Spanish Empire went long ago, they still use it. So once these lingua francas are established, they're very difficult to replace. So it would actually be very difficult to replace, for example, English as a global lingua franca now. But there are other lingua francas. For example, there's one called Fanagalore. Let's have. I think it's called Fanagalore. Let me just I don't know. I'll ask AI. I'm just curious now. So I'm seeing as this doesn't seem to. It's going to be a very long video. I'll just ask. What is the lingua franca? Let's write it properly. Is the lingua franca of South Africa? South African mines. Here we are, mines. What's the lingua franca of South African mines? They do have one. The traditional lingua franca of the South African mines is Fanagalore. It's a pidgin language based primarily on Zulu with input from English and a small amount of Afrikaans. It was developed as a contact language to facilitate communication among the ethnically and linguistically diverse migrant workers in the gold, diamond, coal, and copper mining industries. It was historically used between foremen, often white English or Afrikaans speakers, and black African workers. In recent decades, there have been efforts by the mining companies and some groups to phase out Fanagalore in favour of English due to its historical association with colonial and racial domination. And the belief that English literacy offers the best economic prospects. Yeah, that's right. It's Fanagalore. That's it. Because I think there are 23 languages in South Africa, and these miners come from all over the country. they needed like a lingua franca. Very interesting. That's a bit of trivia there. But all Red asked was, do you speak Esperanto? And I've suddenly done a massive lecture. 3-Hour Atlas changes course first, says Red Ibex. Oh, he's back on form. He's back on form. Gold tin foil hat to you. Over the Moon says here on 3-Hour Atlas changes course. Your friend loves what? Oh, wait, it's Cox. C-O-X. I see. Yeah, I should have said that a little bit more carefully, shouldn't I? Yeah, I've got a friend who's like enamored of Professor Brian Cox. Oh, God knows why. Professor says, Professor Unwin-most. Oh, yes, Brial Coxloader. Such wisdy, such high brainbocker and booky learnage. And objecty most and observe it there. Ugh. Dearie, Professor, you know, your choice of idols is strange. Full staffy, all swoon and philolop. At the very voice bocker of Professor Brial. The full staffy is me. He has a photograil all shrinage and pin it on the ceiling so he can gorpage and dreamy most on the bedloader. There might even be a matrimonial couple-ode deep joy. Oh my goodness me. What part of I hate Professor Brian Cox do you not understand, Professor? I remember my video I made of him. I made this comedy video. It's the sort of thing I do on TikTok now. Let's have a look. This video I made of him. Oh dear. I'm quite proud of this. I'm quite proud of this video. There we go. Professor Brian Cox hates you. I won't play the whole thing. It's 15 minutes long. And our sun is going around another star. It's amazing, that really. Anyway, that's 12 years ago. Bloody heck. The BBC. Yeah. Right, Oxford Graffiti 14. Paul Wills says here. Oh, this is a new video. Ben, I think those two faces staring at each other, the one with the green hair and the other with the purple hair on the side of that underpass, were Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Putin. Just a guess. I'll have a look again. I'm not going to go back and look right now, but it could be Paul Wills. And I'll have a look when I next get the chance. Of course, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Yes, you can't call him Prince anymore, can you? Yes, exactly. Lab base says Putin and Trump. Maybe it is. I'll take another look. Oxford Graffiti 14. Cannot believe they're thinking of building on that woodland, Ben. Absolute disgrace. When's it going to bloody stop? I read that they are trying to get that tunnel built close to Stonehenge up and running again. Oh, no, really? I thought it had been bloody cancelled. And Red Ibex says migrants. Oh, dear. You see, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of them, they'll do this for the sake of migrants because, as I've explained on several videos, you know, especially the old tech ones, that the migration crisis is actually been, it's essentially, I can't go into details here on YouTube, but it's essentially something engineered for the sake of transforming the nation into some kind of like province of the New World Order. But the tunnel under Stonehenge, I remember because Maria Wheatley was leading this campaign to stop it, quite rightly. And luckily they got it cancelled. I was so pleased. I actually texted Maria and I said, "Hey Maria, look, it's great. It's finally gone. This bloody tunnel." And she was like over the moon. Oh, we're actually gone slightly over the hour, so I'll stop in a minute. But now, are they really gonna bring it back? Oh God, poor old Maria. That's awful. Anyway, end of an hour. Okay, everybody, we are back for hour number 2, and we're getting close to the end now. We're back on like. Anyway, so now we have here on David Splender's Isolation on the Great Unbanning. Old ideas, old culture, old customs, old habits. Yeah. I don't quite understand the relevance, but anyway, Professor Unwin-most says underneath, as the Bookly Goodage says, the wisdy most of the agely is writly on the face bowl. All shrivelode and lineage there, eyeballs, sparklode, and contenty most in advancy yearloader. All right, is that from the Bible there, is it? Professor Unwin-most, the good book? Yes, the wisdom of aging is written in the face, shriveled in lines, eyes sparkling, and content in advanced years. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Who'd want to be young? Who'd want to be young these days? Honestly, it must be bloody awful. And we have UAPS says on the great unbanning. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, Ben. It was disgusting behaviour from Google. Absolutely scandalous. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. And Professor says it's all depending on the preferale of the importy most peep loaders you see. Now, differy peep loaders may appreciate widely most range of leisurage. For some, the destination is irrelevant as long as the sun bowl all brightly most in the sky loader with cockly tail bar there, swimly pool for the philolopage with splashy and diving for pennies. All right, so it depends on the preference of the most important people. Yeah, different people may appreciate a wider range of leisure. Some, the destination is irrelevant as long as the sun is bright in the sky. A cocktail bar, swimming pool for diving and splashing, diving for pennies. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Jeff Hindley says here. Jeff Hindley says on 3i Atlas Perihelion live stream. This here. Hi Ben, I love your personality, insight, and content. However, I find it's not snappy enough. I'm 11 minutes 30 in, and I'm leaving. The music, either good or bad, went on for ages, and afterwards you are still not getting to the point. If I want to see a man getting piss wet through right now, I can look out the window. It's your channel, and obviously you can present what you want, but in my opinion, you need a good editor. Am I being negative? I don't believe I am. I'm 62 and my time becomes more precious every day. If the alien invasion happens, we'll all miss it watching one of your marathon episodes. Sorry if I'm unkind. All right. Well, Jeff, all right. You've got to realize, firstly, I quite like my own style. And essentially, I make these videos just really primarily for selfish reasons because I just enjoy doing them. Really, if other people like them, that's good. But I'm very fond of the music intro. If you think, when it comes to live stream intros, there's lots of others that are really, really long. I mean, let's have a look at Kevin Logan. I mean, look at this. This guy goes on his intros. I mean, his intros goes on for like ages and ages and ages. Let's just go and have a look at one of his videos here. He's someone I can't help watching. I totally disagree with him, but let's just find one of the long ones here. Here we go, live stream ones. Here we go. Music has probably copyright music, but this goes on here for bloody ages.
They say in Harlem.
They often go on it often goes on much longer than that. So yeah, live stream intros. It's just so the video's running, people can gather things like that. And I like the music that Rhiannon created. She used an AI app, but she wrote the lyrics. I mean, if you want to leave after 11 minutes, feel free. I mean, I think you are being negative, actually, when you compare my channel to others. I think you are being negative, and I did get to the point. I mean, the thing is, firstly, when you say I'm not getting to the point, the live stream usually begins with me simply greeting the regular posters, which is because I really like. It's almost like a social thing. I also go through the comments they left on the notice because that's polite. I don't want to just delete them. And then I do have a series of bullet points, and I do have like an agenda for each live stream, which I write out beforehand. But I break off to answer questions and to talk to people in the live chat. So, and I tell you, if the alien invasion happens, we'll all miss it watching one of your marathon episodes. Okay, if the alien invasion happens, my marathon episodes will be covering it. So. You believe it, you will not miss a single thing if you're watching one of my live streams when the alien invasion happens. And then Jeff says, oh, sorry, Ben, this is a little bit later. He apologizes. I'm sorry, Ben. I was shocked to see this and I didn't remember posting it. That's cider for you. I'm getting on a bit. And when you get to my age, you become aware of the passing time. I've wasted loads of time with these messages. Keep up the good work, Ben. That's all right, Jeff. You're forgiven. But next time, maybe try some red wine for a change. Oh, and Jeff Henley says, check out John Leonard Wolson's images recently. Yeah, I did. John is doing a fantastic work. He really is. John is doing an absolutely fantastic job. Now, Steve Mumbling, I've got a kind of template reply to Steve Mumbling now, which I'll show you. But Steve says here, 3i Atlas Perihelion live stream. I believe I actually went through these comments actually during another live stream. It's not worth speculating about 3i Atlas, good old Steve Mumbling. Because if it's aliens, they won't be coming here to say hello. There will be absolutely nothing in it for them except the planet itself. They'll wipe us out with a bioweapon from orbit, James Bond Moonraker style. We'll never get to meet or fight them. It'll all be over in a day or two. We could do FA about it. Personally, I think Occam's razor tells us it's a rock. I'm sure I'll be saying, told you so pretty soon. All right. Well, that comment didn't age very well, did it, Steve? If you watch the video I made afterwards, you know, I'm saying, you know, it's us saying, told you so to you. Non-gravitational acceleration. We don't know what their intentions are. I mean, I'm not going to assume they're going to wipe us out with some bioweapon because, let's face it, the aliens already here are not doing it. So if in all of human history, every alien species that's come our way has so far not wiped us all out, why should these new arrivals be different? I mean, why? There could be. I mean, it's always a risk, but so far we haven't met in all the millions of years they've been interacting with this planet. We haven't met one of those guys yet. So if we do now, that'll be awfully bad luck, won't it? I mean, it can't be ruled out, but I think it's unlikely. I'm not losing any sleep over it any more than I lose sleep over the other UFOs that fly through our skies at a much lower altitude. We're talking ground level, basically. I think Occam's razor doesn't tell us it's a rock. And if you watch some of my more recent publications on this, this has actually been shown through AI. Angry Astronaut did an AI study on it, and it's very interesting. So we're the ones saying, told you so. Anyway, but then he goes on to say this. What I can't get my head around is why you so desperately wanted to be aliens. That wouldn't be a good thing. All right, well, I would like it to be aliens, yeah, because firstly, it would prove people like you wrong. And I'm not thinking specifically you, Steve. I mean, I think my gloating will be reserved for higher profile targets than you, especially Professor Brian Cox. I think he'll just retire, you know, he will. But my template reply to Steve Mumbling is this, and I've actually got it here on a timestamp, and I'll always come back to it because this is where Steve says, oh, you desperately wanted to, you know, I'm going to be saying told you so soon. As soon as there is one. It could turn out that in 3 months, oh, hang on, here we go. Months time, we'll know it'll turn out it was just a comet. It'll say, well, it was just a comet, Ben, all right? And all the skeptics and backslappers are going to come to me, and they're going to crowd around me, gloating about it. Ben, you said it was definitely an alien spaceship, and it turned out to be a comet. Yahoo sucks to you. Nah. It turned out to be a comet, and you're really disappointed now, aren't you? You know, I'll just go, no. I said it might be a comet, and I said it in a few months' time. If it turns out to be another interstellar comet, I'll just say it was an interstellar comet. Yes, I will be disappointed, but not very. And besides, whether I'm disappointed or not is irrelevant to the fact that what is. Reality is reality. There you go, Steve. So don't expect me to sort of fall on the floor and you know, weeping and moaning and going and subjecting myself to your humiliation as you gloat, because I won't be. Anyway, if anything, so far it looks like it's the other way around. I mean, since you posted that comment, we've had the non-gravitational acceleration, aren't we? Now, it's easy. I mean, I also resent this polarization. I really do. Okay, because a lot of you skeptics have been doing this. You've been doing it to Avi Loeb. You've been saying, it's saying things like, Avi Loeb is 100% sure it's an alien spaceship. But he's not 100% sure. In fact, he puts the odds at 40% right now. And people say that to me. They say, well, Ben, why are you so certain it's an alien spaceship? Have you not even considered that it might not be? And I mean, people who say that are simply not watching me. They're not listening to my words. Even that, I think it's a deliberate distortion. I mean, it's just one of these things that people do. They just, a lot of people do this. They'll. I mean, even when I was a reporter, people should do this to mess with my head. They'd say silly things like, "Oh, Ben, well, you didn't say this. I'd be saying this very, very thing," and they'd be contradicting me. I think it's a wind up. It's a wind up, Steve, isn't it? It's a wind up. So I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% certain it's an alien spaceship. It's certainly alien. It's outside the solar system. It's a very unusual object. It might be a natural object. If so, it's an unusual kind. It's not a comet. It shouldn't be classified as a comet. It's got comet-like features, but it's certainly not a comet. Yeah. And we have here on Free Eye Atlas Perihelion live stream, Ancient Britain Blue Warriors says here, 3i Atlas is here to pick up those left in Area 51, and the USA should be worried. Right. You reckon? I mean, how do you know? I mean, it could be. It could be they've come to pick up all the aliens that have been trapped in various secret bases. In which case, well, we shouldn't have trapped them, should we? But I mean, how do you know that, Ancient Britain Blue Warriors? I like your name, by the way, and your avatar. Very Boudica. I mean, it could be they have another purpose. And also, it's not as if this is the first interstellar object to pass by us. We've had, as I said to Steve, we've had aliens flying through our skies for almost probably as long as we've been here. This is a perennial experience. It's a part of being human and living on this earth, is this interaction with the phenomenon. So far, they haven't rescued anyone from Area 51. There's evidence to suggest there was a rescue attempt by the aliens at Virginia when the creatures were seen walking the streets. Someone came down and was shining lights down to the ground as if trying to find them, which didn't work, unfortunately. But that's the only one I can think of. So far, they haven't done anything to free their imprisoned comrades. 3 Atlas Perihelion Philip says, I like the swanky theme tune. Hey, I'm glad somebody does. And indeed, we have Henry Zeno says, what's that banger of a song at the end with the 90s dance vibes? That is a song by Rhiannon, and she created that. Yeah, she created that. And so Lab Base says here on 3i Atlas Perihelion, how am I getting on for time? Okay. I didn't watch the whole stream, says Lab-Based, but I did have a little giggle with the AI Brian Cox video and Ben's reaction. It gave a great insight, in my humble opinion, into your mindset. The AI wasn't overly sophisticated, but had you fooled and questioning it and wanting to listen as AI Brian was stating things you wanted to hear. You then started to question what you can now trust, despite the far more obvious face in the UFO conspiracy that you believe was authentic, being around for decades. If you take everything as fake unless proven otherwise as a starting point, you can use your critical thinking more productively. All right, I completely disagree. Now, the reason I was not fooled by Brian Cox. I think you said it had me fooled and questioning it, wanting to listen to as AI Brian. I thought it was until I got the gist of what he was saying, and then I realized this couldn't be real, simply because I know Cox doesn't think that. Cox is actually a massive, massive skeptic. And you started to question what you can now trust. Well, I didn't, you see. I mean, I thought it was him. It looked so like him, but I did get suspicious. I never said I completely believed that was Cox. Despite more obvious fakes in UFO conspiracy, you believe is authentic as being around for decades. All right, well, look, Lab-Based, feel free to be more specific, because, I mean, we can discuss these things you believe are fake, and we'll talk about them, because I have actually had conversations with many people, I don't know if it was with you, but with various people, about specific cases that you believe are fake, and I'm happy to be proved wrong if it turns out they're not real. The Boogosphere. Take the Boogosphere. I mean, it's pretty obvious that's looking more and more suspicious. I'm not decided 100% on it, but there's several strange anomalies, and we still don't have the original files or anything. And other reasons that I've been talking about was with Over the Moon. Your last bit is very interesting, because if you take everything as fake unless proven otherwise as a starting point, you can start to use your critical thinking more productively. No, you can't, Lab-Based, because if I do that, I'll get into the clown's day off fallacy. Because if that's your starting point, and you then say, well, okay, I'm going to believe everything is fake unless it can be proven that it's not, you'll just start saying silly things like, well, the Loch Ness monster is a hoax created by a clown from the circus with a day off. I mean, let me just go back. I put it so well to what's his name? I put it down very, very well. I put it very, very well to Simon Holland, actually, in my comment to him.
How's biz, Ash?
Great, especially with
Read the comment I left for him. And it says here, there's a problem with your method, and indeed this is addressing Simon, but I think it applies equally to what you're saying here. I'll show you it here. It can easily lead to a collapse into what I call the clown's day off fallacy. If you work too hard to exclude all other known possibilities with too much rigor, then you will never succeed because that list is virtually infinite. Theoretically, one could hypothesize that any unknown phenomenon case is a total hoax perpetrated by a clown with a day off from the circus. You might ask, what clown, what circus? But according to the fallacy, nobody needs to answer that. The debunker has made an alternative non-paranormal suggestion, and it could include a hoax, and it doesn't matter how unlikely or absurd that alternative is. In fact, it doesn't even matter if there's absolutely zero evidence that it ever occurred. All that matters is that it does not involve ghosts, Nessie, or creatures from space landing on Earth, etc., and therefore it wins by default, according to some principle I fail to understand and the debunker never explains. This means that debunking becomes a mere exercise of the imagination. And so that's my answer to your last bit there, lab-based. And we have a thread. We have a thread here on Rhiannon at 3i Atlas Changes Course. And Rhiannon Raven says, imagining having Ben as a dad, the ultimate cool dad in the known universe. Jimmy Riddle, who I know from HPANWO Radio, is now on HPANWO TV. Nice semicolon. And Peter says here, 2 sentences joined together. All right. So she's complimenting Rhiannon on her very sophisticated grammar, because I know a lot of people don't use semicolons. I do, but I know a lot of people. I'm a sort of writer. And Neil Peel says here, Neil Peel Paranormal Peep Show, bedtime stories with Ben would certainly be different, such as Little Ted is caught in mysterious black goo on his way to the market and followed by the men in black. Yeah. I used to read Louisa Harry Potter, actually, when she was a little kid. We got as far as the Prisoner of Azkaban, and then she sort of grew out of it. And David Smith says, I see Ben as the Ray Mears of the UFO and paranormal world. And Only Amiga says, is that a joke? Ray Mears. It's funny enough, that name has come up before somewhere. Who's Ray Mears? Where have I heard that name before? British. Oh yeah. Where did that? Oh, of course. This came up, of course, in the live stream. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Because I did a kind of little comments reply there, didn't I? He's an outdoorsman. He's like a reality TV guy who does the outdoor stuff. Well, I'm glad you think so, David. That's much appreciated. But Only Amiga says, is that a joke? Right. And now we have Arts Channel, who says on Free Atlas Changes Course. I think it's a man-made object. Right, Arts. Well, technically, it could be something from the secret space program. Yeah, it's possible. Peter says, man-made? I don't think so. It's bug-eyed monsters from outer space made. Peter, that's another possibility that I consider. And Lab-Base says, man didn't exist when it was made. Yeah. Well, it's because she says, Lab-Base says that. So that's an assumption that it is as old as they're saying, and it actually comes from the thin disk, and it's like 6 billion years old or something. We don't know that. That's a theory generated from the possibility of it being a natural object. Arts Channel says that Lab-Based, your brain did not exist. Oh, fight. Lab-Based says, or yours, as I said, mankind didn't exist. Read more, post less is my advice. Ooh. Arts Channel said, it is a man-made object, hence created by man. Right. Only Amiga says, I think you need to wear a tinfoil hat. Well, that's a compliment, I think. Arts Channel says to Amiga. In 1984, Johns Hopkins University created an artificial comment that fooled astronomers. Fact. Only Amiga says, nonsense. They were involved in observing Halley's Comet in 85. Let's just check that, shall we? Let's just check that. I'm going to do a bit of fact checking. All right, let's go to Google. Let's go to that fount of wisdom called Google AI. Here we are. Right. Did capital letter? Did Johns Hopkins University create an artificial comet? Let's see what it says here. Yes. Oh, yes. Right. This is interesting. Scientists involved with the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory participated in a joint international mission that created an artificial comet in space. The mission was called the Active Magnetospheric Particle Tracer Explorers Program, which was a collaboration between the United States, West Germany, and Great Britain. The US contribution changed Composition Explorer satellite. On December the 27th, 1984, the West German Ion release module released a cloud of barium vapor 70,000 miles up in space, which was then ionized by the solar wind, creating man-made shooting stars. Right. The goal of the artificial comet experiment was to study how the solar wind interacts with comets and Earth's magnetosphere. Right. Well, there you go. It's there in black and white, Squire. So, only Amiga, there you go. It's true. Unless Google AI is lying. It may be programmed to. Nothing works anymore. This is an old video from long ago. And we have here Italia Salbion, who says here, all this nostalgia makes you sound like John Cleese complaining that England doesn't feel like England anymore. Most people assumed he was referring to mass immigration, and that's why he left England. Funny enough, because he thought Monty Python ridiculing English culture and religion for all those years wouldn't have any consequences. But wasn't it those very institutions that he ridiculed that created the culture that he loves so much? Yeah. Well, I do sympathise with John Cleese. And I mean, I'm not actually. I don't think mass immigration essentially is the cause of this. It's more a consequence or a strategy of what the problem is, because I believe it's deliberate what's being done. As for Monty Python, does he regret all those really, really funny sketches and jokes and movies he made? Because I thought they were very good. I mean, ridiculing things isn't to denounce them. I think this criticism here, it was the institutions that he ridiculed that created the culture he loves so much. I think that criticism could be more applied to Richard Dawkins, because Monty Python in the end, they just took the mickey. They were comedians. Comedy is very much one of the foundations and most common forms of comedy is a parody, which is what Monty Python did. They created parody and satire. Richard Dawkins literally denounced. He's the one who denounced the Christian culture, which has indeed contributed to the civilization of Britain. Yeah, and funny enough, it's he now who's like moaning about it, and he says things. Well, I love things like church bells, and I love choir music, and things like this, and they seem to be going away and being replaced by chants from the mosque and things like that. And I really don't like that. It's not right. And that's when people said, well, Richard, you want these things, but you spent your entire career trying to strip this country of the very thing that created that. And you actually think that you can have those things you like about it without the institution behind it, which you've tried to destroy. So that criticism could certainly apply to Richard Dawkins. I don't think it's fair to apply to John Cleese, though. Now we go on to 3i Atlas changes course. Paranormal Peep Show says here, Neil Peel, Paranormal Peep Show. How did they work out it was around 15 billion years old? Might be Vija overshooting. Vija, that's the reference to the Star Trek motion picture. Very underrated film, I think. It's actually about 6 billion years, I think they said. But it's got a lot to do with where it came from, where they think it came from, based on its trajectory. And indeed, lab-based says here, velocity, trajectory, and composition. I suspect 15 billion is the extreme age estimate, end of the age estimate. However, being interstellar makes it older than 4.5 billion years old. Its point of origin in a completely different part of the Milky Way galaxy, where oldest stars exist, the thick band, with a composition that occurs suggests a likely age of 7 to 11 billion years is the best guesstimate. Fascinating to think it formed and was ejected from its solar system before our solar system was born. I mean, if this does turn out to be a natural object, which I'm open to, despite attempts to marginalize me, I am open to that idea, then it's going to be extraordinary. It's the most unusual we've ever seen. And Indeed, I mean it's like a little artifact. It's like an archaeological piece or a fossil from the early history of our galaxy, which obviously, if it is natural, then obviously had a very, very different form of matter and chemistry. Very different indeed. Yeah. But that's kind of lab-based has kind of summed it up quite well. Again, this is an assumption made, assuming it's not some spaceship that was maybe built a lot more recently, maybe closer to or from a different part of the galaxy. And Neil Peel says here, makes you wonder if there are natural rocks, asteroids, etc., that have been ejected or knocked out from our solar system too. Well, Neil, I'm sure that has happened, and indeed, it could be there are aliens sitting around tables all right now, wondering about what they are when they fly into their solar system. That's quite possible, yeah. Reply to comments 118 Bluebeam says here, I've seen Eric Hecker use this AI music stuff on his channel. I love you all with your videos and stuff, but I found the whole AI music stuff particularly very cringe or weird slap. Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoy what I do, Bluebeam. I actually quite like that music, and I will continue to use it on my live streams. Eric Hecker's the guy from Antarctica, isn't he? I didn't know he had his own channel, does he? Let's have a look. I know I've seen there's lots of stuff with him. Eric Hecker, yeah, he's the guy who went to Antarctica. The Jimmy Dore Show, dark journalist Sean Ryan, the Imagination podcast. Yeah, he's an interesting guy, actually. He says a lot of the stuff he talks about is very, very strange. Raytheon contractor in Antarctica. There we go. Deep State TV. Oh, what's this? I got a sub. Oh, I got a sub to these guys. I love just the name Deep State TV. Is fantastic. Stephen Greer, Alex Jones. Oh my God. Yeah. But I've there's nothing wrong with. I mean, like I said to Gary, I don't like it. I'm currently trying to resist the temptation at the moment not to use an AI app to convert my short story into a stage play. That's Ouija. I don't want to do it. I read that short story out on the one of my Halloween videos. But it saved me so much time and effort. DJ B2 says here on 3i Atlas changes course. There was something about radar imaging of 3i Atlas, and it was a sphere. Not sure about the legitimacy of that particular claim. It was a claim made by Professor Simon Holland, DJ, and I don't understand where he got that information from, because 3i Atlas is much too far away for radar ranging at the moment. It's maybe a sphere. See, whether it's a sphere or not, it's probably not a pure sphere. Otherwise, its rotation will be undetectable. It's rotating every 16 hours, but its brightness levels are not. They're not like pulsating very much, which indicates it's not a long, thin thing like Oumuamua was. Oh, we got a thread now. We got a thread. Here we go. Quite a long thread here. Oh my goodness me. Daniel Bostock, who says here, oh, Dan's an old friend of mine. Oh God, I've not. He was in my Roswell. Was it the Knots Roswell video? And it's just strange because of what he says here. Actually, we need to face facts. We're alone in the universe. That sounds like a title to one of your songs. But that's strange. Have you changed your mind, Dan? Because people do sometimes. But Neil Peel says not quite. No, says Red Ibex. 5 Dead says I'm sorry. Serastium said, given that we can only access a minuscule percentage of the universe, there is no established fact to face. True. BDX says firmament. Oh God, another flathead. Psyop says Peter. Neil Peel says, when making conclusions of saying we're alone in the universe, you are ignoring every known fact, encounter with UFOs, abduction cases, meeting humanoids. These may not be established facts officially declared, as occurred by those who hold the official cards to their chest, but the evidence of it being true, the truth is overwhelming. That truth, like the COVID jab, you know what it did is for officials, too much for them to admit. That's a good comparison there, Neil. David Smith says to Serastium, I mean, the fact that we can't detect intelligent life anywhere is a fact. Probably for the best looking, for the best at looking how we're messing things up here. Well, see, David, I believe we have detected intelligent life on the Earth, which does not originate from here. But yeah, we haven't detected SETI hasn't. And David Angleston says, how on earth can you know that? Good. Dan, you've opened up a can of worms here. We are only aware of a fraction of the visible light here on Earth. Are you aware of X-rays, for example? So many things we cannot see due to our limited bodies. Yet closed-minded folks are so sure that things don't exist outside of their awareness. Only Amiga. We can detect X-rays and other EM irradiation with appropriate detectors. Amiga says, yes, you need to face the fact that you know nothing about physics and how bodies in space are influenced by gravitational forces. And Daniel Bostock replies, I know something about that. You need to face the fact. Amiga, if you say so. Daniel, science says so. And then says to Neil, quite. How totally quite? So totally quite. Oh, so Dan sounds like he's agreeing with Neil now. And then Daniel says to Serastium, that minuscule percentage is still a lot. It's just us, I'm afraid, us and God. Well, I don't agree, Dan. You seem to change your mind on this, as people do. I'm a spiritual person, even if I'm not religious. But you know, it's not what's out there, it's what's down here that convinces me that aliens exist. And Daniel Bostock says, currently it is yes, there's nothing out there, in reply to Red Ibex. And Dan says to five deads, I don't remember that comment, maybe it's deleted. It's not your fault. God thought we were enough for one universe. And Neil says to Dan, maybe think of it slightly differently. If there was a US general in the 18th century who said that transatlantic communication would never be possible because both the British and US would never be able to make flags so big so that either side would be able to the others from their shores. They'd never be able to make flags so big so that either side would be able to the other from their shores. Do you mean ships rather than flags? The general made the mistake that the only fact of how to communicate at that time was with waving flags. Oh, I see what you mean, like semaphore. Yeah. He could never have foreseen or even understood the technology now developed via satellites and space systems that would make communications across the Atlantic at the speed of light. The general thought he was facing the facts. The facts moved on to greater things. And Daniel says to Neil, Neil says to Daniel, where is the fact of God, please? Right. Show more replies. Oh, there's more. It goes on. Oh, blimey. Neil says to Daniel, how do you know the mind of something that is not proven to be fact? And Daniel said, we are aware of the other light spectrums. We just can't see them with our eyes. We can see life, but not anywhere else in the universe. And Daniel says to Neil, when it happens, I'll admit I was wrong. Well, Dan, you know about, have you changed your mind about the Knots Roswell? You remember the video we did with Nigel Crowley? And Daniel says here to Neil, everywhere it's like a fish asking for the fact of water. The plants aren't randomly formed. Oh, I think you mean planets. They aren't randomly formed. They follow laws. David Angleston says to Daniel, really? Humans are aware of only a tiny proportion of the electromagnetic spectrum known as the visible light spectrum. This range of light is what the human eye can perceive as color and imagery. The human eye can typically detect wavelengths in the range of approximately 380 to 750 nanometers. This narrow band of wavelengths is often referred to as the optical window, which happens to be the range of light that passes largely unattenuated through the Earth's atmosphere. Within this range, different wavelengths are perceived as different colors, violet and blue, etc., etc. Wavelengths immediately shorter than violet are called ultraviolet. Those immediately longer are called infrared. While generally invisible to the human eye, under very specific high-intensity laboratory conditions, individuals may be able to perceive life slightly outside these limits, these standard limits, such as near infrared or near ultraviolet, although this is part of normal vision. And Neil says to Dan, well, I think it's already happened many a time. Do you want Keir Starmer to tell you the truth? Or do you want to look at the overwhelming evidence that is out there, logged through various organizations and individuals that provide this evidence that we're not alone? Oh, I don't think Dan is a fan of Keir Starmer, Neil, any more than we are. And then Neil also says to Dan, it's funny you say God is everywhere, but you could say that about aliens too. Interesting you mentioned about plants as evidence for God. So plants use sunlight to grow, i.e. photosynthesis. I think Dan might have meant planets. Is it a spelling mistake? He says, yet in the Bible, where in Genesis, God placed the creation of plants, grass, etc., like on the second or third day of creation, yet he creates the sun to light the earth on the fifth day. Christianity tries to suggest those creation days of the Bible are actually 1,000 years per biblical day. So how do plants created in the third biblical day survive for 2,000 years or 2 biblical days without sunlight? The natural law would not be able to operate. Yeah. Interesting thread, guys. Dan just puts a single sentence and it's like, yeah, and it's like started a real discussion. I like it when that happens. Patriot says here on 3R Atlas changes course. It will hit us on December the 25th, according to the Ho-Ho Observatory. Ho, ho. Right, yeah, so it's an intergalactic Santa. Funny enough, it was actually Avi Loeb who says, let's hope it doesn't bring us some, seasonal gifts we don't want. The Ho-Ho Observatory. Very good, Patriot. Bright and Amazing says on 3i Atlas changes course. Appreciate the update, Ben. Heard it first from you. Interesting and exciting times. Go join the party. You deserve a drink. That's Halloween, yeah. Thanks, Bright and Amazing. And yeah, you heard it first from me. I mean, honestly, man, in all modesty, this is like your one-stop shop for all the latest news on what's going on here. It really is. Right, James's pipe. I've decided to call it a pipe. James was actually asking what we should call it, a pipe. I mean, I know, as Steve Mumbling was saying, but it's not, it's a cylinder because it has the ends. A pipe is open-ended. All right, Steve, I know, but, James's cylinder just doesn't ring. It just doesn't have that kind of, like, ring to it. Hi, Ben. I hope you're keeping well. Oh, right, you said this. All right, here we go. This is the details here. I've translated the symbols on the object. I've previously stated this on one of your older videos. You may have seen this. It's not Proto-Sanskrit like the Boogosphere, as many are suggesting. Was it? Yes, Proto-Sanskrit. That's the ancient languages of India. They're best described as pseudo-runes or Hermetic alchemical sigils, a blend of runic, elemental, and occult-style markings arranged for symbolic rather than linguistic meaning. Yeah, we have like the Star of David and things like that. The inscription expresses a balance between opposing forces, briefly light and dark, fire and water, above and below, unified by a central trinity symbol representing the harmony or creation. That would be like the triangle. As above, so below. I can't translate them word for word because the symbols aren't from any readable language. They combine several known motifs, each carrying a general symbolic sense rather than a literal meaning. If we interpret them through those traditional associations, the inscription roughly says, from light comes form, and form returns to balance, fire and water join in one, that points towards it being terrestrial in origin. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, would aliens necessarily say that, using symbols that we humans use? The latest updates from Stephen Greer, on the other hand, which is unrelated to this and any kind of different topic, on the Boogosphere is interesting. His analysis is ongoing. Testing seems to be unearthing some intriguing results. Are you aware of the latest findings? If not, you should check it out. Sorry I missed the live stream the other day. I joined too late. Peace and love. Peace and love to you, One String Puppet. I've not seen Greer's stuff. I mean, I'm not like a big fan of the Boogosphere, to be honest. I'm dubious about it, even before I heard stuff that that Over the Moon was posting about, like the possible drone that's been captured and things like that. But I'll check it out. I'll have a look. 3i Atlas Acceleration live stream. Professor Unremost first. Deep joy. Nice one. And German Mad said, you think you're funny. And Professor Unremost, you are scruffy most. Hedgley backwards. Drag it there. Oh, nice, great answer. Honestly, the only reason I'm not blocking German Mad right now is because Professor. I want him to be able to be taken on by Professor Unremost in Unwinese, because German Mad was very rude to Rhiannon, very rude indeed. 3i Atlas changes course. Over the Moon says, I wonder how many have or are about to cut their Jacobs off and chug phenobarbital over this one. Before boarding, please have your £5.75 ready for the ticket. Over the moon, yeah. I mean, this is referring, of course, to the Heaven's Gate situation, this terrible tragedy in 1997 where 39 people committed suicide as part of a religious ritual when Comet Hale-Bopp reached its closest point of approach to the Earth, because they believed it was harboring a spaceship that would take their souls up to some heavenly realm. It's a horrific tragedy. These were like all kinds of people. The youngest was like 25, the oldest was 72. They're from all kinds of backgrounds, but they've fallen into this cult. And I actually said that you need to. Someone's trying. I'll just say sorry. We'll join later. I'll join when I finish this. We'll join later. That's just our weekly chat. I actually said and I repeated this point on HPANWO Radio last night that if you know someone who starts talking about, oh, well, this three-eyed atlas is some spiritual guardian, if only we were dead, it would be all right because our souls could ascend. Sit them down, talk it over, find out if there's anyone else who believes this shit, all right? And you got to drag them off that ledge, because I can actually, you've asked a good question here, and it is a possibility, especially if three-eyed atlas starts to do more things that are very alien. Yeah. Red Ibex says on Oxford Graffiti 14. First, well done, Red Ibex. And then we have here Three-Eye Atlas. How much longer have I got? I'm nearly done now. Tor Engen says, I heard that NASA is going to send up a rocket with 2 T's to say sorry to the aliens. The project is named Apollo G. Apology. Going to say sorry, apology. Oh, very good. Very good, Tor Engen. Very good. You are so funny. I am like, my ribs are literally leaving me in droves. Apology. Reference about Heaven's Gate. Not many talk about Jim Jones. He said he was Christian, but in fact he was just a socialist. No one talks about how many Jim Jones is out there. Yeah, Jim Jones. He's got to be. So he did actually have Welsh roots. I think there were several hundred people actually did a I don't remember the details. I did actually listen to the tape, which I don't want to listen to again, where he's just basically talking while all these people are drinking poison. It's horrible. But he was running this kind of like cult community in, was it Guyana? And they were going to be captured because they shot a congressman, and they realized they were going to be captured, so they decided to kill themselves first. It's horrible, horrible thing. Sorenable said on Oxford Graffiti 14, that was funny when you asked the police to say "papers, please" in a cheap German accent. Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised I wasn't given a non-crime hate incident at that point. But I explained I'm being satirical. Just reference to digital ID, of course. Yeah, and they always ask you now for ID, don't they? They never used to. Green Tea says, "I love the papers, please" comment. Well done, Ben. Thanks, Green Tea. Oxford Graffiti 14, who says here, Paul Wills says, you definitely capture the nature in all its glory in this one, Ben. Lovely footage, mate. Not only of the artwork, but also the surrounding nature. Thanks, Paul. I try to include that sort of thing in my Oxford Graffiti videos just for a kind of I kind of like just for fun, you know, just to like give it a sense of atmosphere. But thanks, Paul. 3-Hour Atlas changes course. AwakeCon. The irony, lol, says Only Amiga. That was the T-shirt I was wearing. Yeah, it was AwakeCon was a conference I went to in 2017, organised by Tajinder Gill, and I thought it was very, very good, actually. Very good indeed. Right, now I'm going to go to see if I've had any... That's the end of the YouTube situation now. Let's go and see what I've actually got in terms of comments that have been left while I've been recording this. Let's have a look. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's have a look. So going back here, Oh, what's this? Oh, this is a reply to mine. Oh no, this is someone else. This is someone else. This is on a 3i Atlas video. I said it's not a comment, and I gave a long list of reasons why, and someone's just said no. All right. Paul Wills has put a heart on there, and oh, James. Okay, that's upload by James, Ashton Forbes, podcast of Lotus Eaters, Terry Joyce, Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Have I got Bell for Kevin Logan? All right. So where are we now? Oh man! All right, someone's thumbed up my reply to set my timestamp here. This is nice. Quest. All right, I think that's the end. Okay, we come to the end. Okay, so now we. Someone else is called. This is a Facebook. I have a regular Facebook thing. Okay, so now we go to TikTok. Now, some of you don't know. I have just for change. I've actually got a TikTok video. I don't do many of those. But I have actually made a TikTok video in the last couple of weeks. It's this comedy one it's this one here. And if you can see it, I might as well show it to you. Here we go. Where are we? View profile. It's this one here. I don't do much TikTok work, but I'm quite pleased with this one. Yeah, I might do some more comedy on here, actually. Here we go. It's called... Charlie Vitch comes to Oxford, and if that name sounds familiar, it's meant to. I've got 5 comments here. Rachel says here, put captions on the, TikTok comments are so hard to read. Put captions on the next vid. I like to watch vids at night, and can't always find my headphones. And I said, all right, Rachel, I will do that. But I know it's funny, you can't hear my accent and stuff like that because I am actually impersonating somebody, which most of you will probably recognize. Oh, whoops, sound goes down. Most of you will probably recognize that. Then Rachel says, nice shades, Ben. Oh, cool. And then I've got 5 comments on here, back to the top. Okay. And I added Lord Sips Clips. That's Sips. That's Sips Clips. Because he's very interested in the Veach, Charlie Veach. And so I always kind of, here we go, and I always like to talk to him about Charlie Veach, and I at Lord Six Clips. I think you'll like this one, and I said here, all good, which of course is a Charlie voice, which of course is a thanks, all good, which is a Charlie Veach, a Charlie Veach cliche. All right, that's it now. That's TikTok done. So now, I'll just do one more refresh of YouTube, and then that's it. That's the end. Let's have a look. Oh, look, we've got some. Oh, there's some. See, 3i Atlas never goes away. Look what's just appeared on my feed. It's from Fraser Kane. Now he's a big comet believer, but he says here 3i Atlas turns blue. Oh my goodness me! Oh wow, it brightens dramatically again. It's happened again. Blimey. Although some of his videos are a bit out of date, but yeah. Dobsonian Power is still uploading and stuff like that. Yeah. All right, guys. Where am I now? All right. So that's it. Well, thank you. There's been nothing else new. No new comments posted. So that's it, I think. Yeah, that's it. Okay, guys. So thank you very much, all of you, for these comments. Obviously, if it weren't for these comments, then this video wouldn't happen. So they've been very, very good ones this time. Again, it's less than 2 hours again, so that's quite something. Do go over to Alt-Tech to check out my Alt-Tech, the Alt-Tech Annex, because if you don't, you won't be able to see it, because I won't be uploading that to YouTube until Elon Musk really does buy YouTube. I think that's out of the question. But what's coming up next? Well, I've got a few ideas for videos, which I can't think of right now, but I will. I'm thinking of like doing more read and watch parties, which might be nice. I haven't done a roving review for a while. I'll just have to check what's in the cinema, because I haven't done a roving review for bloody ages. The last one I did was that Imaginary Friends movie, I think. I should do some more of those. And I'm sure there'll inevitably, there's probably going to be more said about 3i Atlas in the coming weeks. Oh, and I'm going to the Lapis conference 2 weeks time, so there'll be a reportage of that. So once again, thank you all of you for watching HPANWO TV. Hospital Porters, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order.
Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries, monster cryptids, psyops, saucers and black triangles, HPANWO.